Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you today the culmination of a year of struggle and determination from the best players from around the world. A story of a new generation challenging an existing paradigm, and how after a heated debate, $1 million was won by the intuition of the wife. What am I talking about? I'm of course talking about Capcom Cup 11. Over the course of this Capcom Pro Tour season, we whittled down thousands of hopeful competitors into the final 48 representatives. We had 10 people chosen from the offline open bracket premieres where anybody could enter and win the tournament to qualify, and 38 from the region-locked World Warrior program, which ensures that we have representation from nearly every corner of the planet here. And by here, I mean, of course, the birthplace of Street Fighter, where for the first time ever, Capcom Cup 11 was held in Japan, hosted at the legendary Ryogoku Kokugikan sumo wrestling arena. And in this venue, over the course of 3 days, we saw some surprising action unfold in the group stages. First off, highlighting Group G, we're in a group with Nephew, Kaba, Knuckledo, Xiaohai, and Killzyu. The player to make it out of winners was Juicy Joe out of Sweden, playing his JP, going on a 4-1 set record, dropping only 1 set to Xiaohai. Another big surprise was over in Group H, where Shuto, after having a really strong first day, taking his set wins over AngryBird and Kusanagi, what people assumed was going to be his biggest competition in this group, ended up dropping a set to Seoul. The Aki main from Kuwait, qualifying then out of Australia, took an extremely clutch comeback set with an incredibly unpredictable outcome to make Shuto's record 4-1, and with the game differential actually cost him the winner's side qualification, with AngryBird qualifying out in winners over Shuto, even when Shuto took the head-to-head set over AngryBird. No way that just happened. Other major upsets include events happening over in Group E, where players like Fudo, MenaRD, and Mr. Crimson were competing to make it out of this group. In comes Limestone from Colombia, taking a huge surprise win over MenaRD with his Ken versus MenaRD's M. Bison. Now, MenaRD does manage to clean up the rest of the group and get out in loser side 3-2, but Limestone definitely made his mark on this group, but Fudo, of course, too solid, gets out in winner side 5-0. Group C, on the other hand, I think was the most dramatic group of the whole tournament, with the most branching paths possible, where every game counted on the final day. Obviously, Tokido and Kakeru were the favorites to make it out of this group, but after day 2, things weren't so clear. Kakeru, looking really strong, had a 3-0 record after day 2, looking like the clear favorite to make it out in winners. Tokido, on the other hand, had 2 big matches on day 2, where Zangief Bolado from Brazil took the set 2-1 over him, and then Jobby M was up next. Yes, the same Jobby M that beat Tokido in like week 2 of Street Fighter 6 at Red Bull Kumite in his home country of South Africa, where Jobby M won that first to 5 set. Jobby M goes up against Tokido again, this time with Terry against Tokido's Ken, and proceeds to win the set again over Tokido 2-0. Going into the finals day, it was do or die for Tokido. He ends up taking a clutch set win over Kakeru, delivering Kakeru's only loss of the entire group to stay alive. Then up against Hannibal, he's required to win 2-0, barely gets the set win to keep himself alive in the groups again. But even after that, it's not enough. Based on the game differentials, Tokido needed Zangief Bolado to at least take a game over Dual Kevin, which he does deliver with a 2-0 win. He also then needed Kakeru to beat Jobby M to prevent Jobby M from jumping him in the running. All of this barely comes to fruition, and Tokido, by the skin of his teeth, makes it into top 16. But even more surprising than Tokido barely making it out of groups is Punk the God, the EVO champion, the Street Fighter League US champion, not making it out of groups at all. Punk ended up taking losses to Hot Dog 29, Phenom, and most surprisingly, Salvatore from Venezuela. He lost 2-0 in the Cami mirror. With Punk drowning in groups and also the other American players not doing so hot as well, the only American player who ended up qualifying into the top 16 on winner's side is Noah the Prodigy. It seems when the lights are the brightest, like Esports World Cup, Noah the Prodigy is the only American player capable this season of stepping up, which is hilarious considering how disrespected he is for his extremely unorthodox offensive-based playstyle, where he constantly puts himself in burnout for offensive situations. People cannot seem to wrap their heads around how Noah likes to play, but he keeps finding success in the biggest stages. But beyond all the upsets and unexpected outcomes, something else bigger was brewing in the group stages. You see, in Group D, we had Blaz, the Chilean qualifier and the youngest player in Capcom Cup history, competing in Japan at only 15 years old. You see, after day 2, Blaz had a 3-0 record, beating VXBow, Armper, and Broski with his Ryu. And then going on to day 3, Blaz takes out Bravery and Idom with his Ken to go 5-0 in this group. And while I did cover Blaz's qualification into Capcom Cup months ago, and I was really impressed with his gameplay at that time, qualifying as the point leader from the South America East region, I could not have possibly predicted with certainty just how strong he was. So myself and the world were beginning to witness that this kid might have something special to offer. And after 3 days of groups conclude, we have our final top 16 bracket, including in this first match, of course, Noah the Prodigy, the only American player remaining in the top 16, going up against Takamura, the winner out of Group A, over players like Phenom and Punk the God. And as this set comes near its conclusion, we have Noah the Prodigy here, up 2 games to 1 with a round on the board, going up against Takamura, and here he has Takamura in the corner, nearing level 3 on the side of Noah. Jumps back to bait something out, gets the drive rush cancel into the overhead, block from Takamura, but the stagger jabs connect, the frame trap makes contact, and the conversion into the level 3. And with that, Noah the Prodigy already up on his feet and takes his victory lap around the stadium in his socks. Say what you want about this kid, he keeps winning when the lights are the brightest, and he does it in his style, looking cozy as ever, in top 8 winners of Capcom Cup 11. And up next in the battle for winner's side top 8 at Capcom Cup 11, we have Kakeru. Now, despite Kakeru making top 8 at EVO Vegas in 2023 and win Gamers 8 and also win Blink Respawn, this is actually his first ever Capcom Cup. That year, he was one of the most consistent players in the offline circuit, but didn't make it in through the Japan World Warrior program. After that, we saw him at the very tail end of Season 1 and in the beginning of 2024 take second place at EVO Japan, losing to MenaRD and the Blanca JP matchup. In the beginning of Season 2, we saw him experiment with M. Bison and Akuma after JP received heavy nerves, and he actually ended up taking second place at Topanga League, the most prestigious long set format league in Japan, with these characters. And throughout the season in the Japanese World Warrior program, Kakeru was the most consistent player. And at the very tail end, he actually ends up switching back to JP after JP had some more buffs to make him a lot more viable, and ends up ending the World Warrior program as the #1 ranked player, earning himself the auto qualification spot out of Japan. All this is to say, Kakeru at Capcom Cup was a long time coming, and it showed in his group performance that he is here to play. And Kakeru's opponent in this top 8 qualifying match in Kakeru's first ever Capcom Cup is another Capcom Cup first timer. And in fact, this is the first time that the majority of the world has seen this player. It's Blaz, the 15-year-old Chilean prodigy. And if the international audience wasn't familiar with Blaz's gameplay before Capcom Cup began, they were definitely familiar with his level at this point, going 5-0 in that super stacked group. So how does it go when one of the most consistent players we have seen thus far in Street Fighter VI's lifetime goes up against this rising star? Well, Blaz actually shifts away from his mainstay Ryu, which he earned the majority of his wins with in his group stage, to try out Ken for the first games. But Blaz is a Shoto specialist. He plays any character with a DP and a fireball. But here we can see he goes down 0-2 in the first 2 games with this Ken, but he might have an ace in the hole with Akuma. But here we have Kakeru on set point in the corner fighting against Blaz's Akuma. He jumps out of the corner to escape. Blaz attempts a cross cut but has an execution error and gets a level 1. That ends up being blocked by Kakeru. It's going to be heavily punished into the level 3. And Blaz is now in the corner near burnout against Kakeru, the best JP player on the planet. How does he fight out of this situation? OD Fireball sets up, puts him in burnout. Chip sequence incoming. But Blaz level 2s through the projectile string to have another chance to fight out of this, but he's going to be in burnout with no super meter to his name. He's going to have to control this somehow. He gets over the DI, attempts to punish the whiff DI with the standing heavy kick, but it was a little bit too late. The first hit does not make contact with Kakeru. He ends up crouching the second hit and securing the punish, and Kakeru gets the win, hands Blaz his first loss of this entire Capcom Cup to make it into top 8 winner side. And up next, we also have Fudo up against Leshar, and Fudo actually made his qualification into Capcom Cup 11 by beating Momochi in the Japan Regional Finals in the Ed Mirror. Does he have what it takes to take out another top-level Ed, arguably the best Ed on the planet in Leshar? Well, it comes down to the final game between these two players, but Leshar ends up being too solid and ends up taking that set 3-2 over Fudo. But then up next, we have a really interesting matchup. Juicy Joe up against AngryBird. Now, Juicy Joe is one of the big surprise breakout performers, winning that Group G with a 4-1 record, getting out on winner's side to top 16. And of course, AngryBird, EVO 2023 champion, and barring last year's Capcom Cup where he didn't make it out of groups, has always performed really well at Capcom Cup in the Street Fighter V era. How does it go between these two players? Well, Juicy Joe actually brings it to a 2-2 situation with his JP up against AngryBird's Ken, and here we have Juicy Joe getting the knockdown on AngryBird, forces the burnout with the Russian, forcing out the ODDP, which is dangerous against JP, because JP really takes advantage of burnout with this conversion to level 2. He gets a conversion, goes for the side swap reset. You're not blocking that when you're in burnout. There's high-lows all over the place. Speaking of high-low, overhead reset with the portal, gets the combo confirmation, and Juicy Joe takes the set 3-2 over AngryBird and goes into top 8 winner's side over the EVO 2023 champion. And with that, we begin to whittle down our 16 players as we turn our attention to the losers bracket. I want to highlight this match here, MenaRD up against Cien. You see, it's final game between these two players, both getting out of their groups and losers. Wake up level 1 from MenaRD to avoid the guaranteed checkmate DI stun. Somehow doesn't get anti-aired. He needs to worm his way out of the corner. He needs to escape, finds the jump back jab to avoid that jump in, and somehow finds this cross-up pocket to get the side swap and get the throw to stay alive. He's going to run away to try to let his burnout timer regen here. MenaRD trying to avoid the chip here, goes for the level 1. If that button landed, he would have been put into a chip scenario and lost this round. Spends the OD on the fireball to control the space. He's going to spend more OD drive gauge here as well. Almost an even life situation between these two players. Drive rush in, burns himself out for the offensive guess, and it doesn't work. Cien finds the button to take the round there. Super tense round between these two players, and as it goes on, Cien manages to close out that game and take the set 3-2 and eliminate MenaRD. No 3-time Capcom Cup champion for MenaRD this year. And up next, we have content creator extraordinaire and Aki specialist Broski doing amazing for himself at his first ever Capcom Cup, making it out of groups and loser's side. And who does he have for his opponent? None other than the legendary Tokido, who, mind you, got by the skin of his teeth into this top 16, but he's out for blood, and Broski is in the corner 2-1. Tokido on set point here. Broski living out his Ken nightmares in the corner, can't tag, can't get shimmied, or else that level 3 will spell the end of his Capcom Cup adventure. But instead, it's the best button in the game. Stand heavy punch connects for Tokido, gets the confirmation into level 3, and Broski is eliminated at top 16. And ever the showman is Tokido. He knows how to rep the sponsor, pulls out the Roto Z, taking the win in style and doing it big for his sponsors as well. Next up, NL, after beating Phenom 3-2 in a really close set, gets rewarded with a set up against AngryBird, the EVO 2023 champion. And instead of picking his signature Ken, he decides to mirror match NL, and it works out. In fact, he brings NL down to a final game, final round scenario here. AngryBird chases NL down, gets the low forward, drive rush cancel, confirm, pushes him into the corner, finds a crouching fierce on the jump out of the corner into the demon flip reset, jumps back to reset the situation, and NL gets really aggressive with the drive gauge, with the drive rush cancels, puts himself into burnout, and AngryBird smells blood. Drive rush, adamant fist strings. He's harassing with the plus frames. He's chasing NL down and finds the low forward into adamant fist into the level 3. That's going to spell the end of NL's run with a perfect 4th place for NL at last Capcom Cup. He's eliminated now at 9th place. And the next match to qualify into the top 8 on the loser side is Fudo up against Tokido. And while Tokido struggled to make it out of groups and got by the skin of his teeth, Fudo dominated. He's the only other player besides Blaz to get a 5-0 record, and even better than Blaz, who had a +7 game differential, Fudo had a +9 game differential, meaning in a group with Diver, Mr. Crimson, Chris CCH, Limestone, and MenaRD, Fudo only lost 1 game over the 3-day group stages. But here he is up against Tokido, who is hungry to make that run after nearly being eliminated in groups, and we find ourselves 2-2 apiece, final game. Tokido with a perfect on the board, looking to eliminate Fudo. Here he is, 1 touch away potentially from building a level 3. Finds the throw, next hit can kill. Fudo techs the grab, drive rush jab in again. Jinrai shenanigans in the corner. This Jinrai connects level 3. You see Tokido there, making a little palmed fist, looking at the life. It's not enough. Fudo is still alive. He can fight back low drive meter situation from Fudo. Does he come clutch? The snatcher lands, and ODDP, that flicker that pulled Tokido in, is +4 on block, meaning Fudo could have gone for a strike throw mix, and Tokido did not care. With that much of a lead, he spends it on the ODDP, risks it all to close it out right then and there, and Tokido eliminates the Japan regional final champion Fudo from Capcom Cup to make top 8. And up next, we have Cien, coming off that big win over MenaRD, going up against Blaz, who, while he had an amazing performance in group stages, just suffered a 3-0 loss to Kakeru. So how does he do? Is his confidence hurt? Is he going to shy away from the competition on the finals day? We'll take a look at how he starts this round off. Throws the fireball, walk, block, walk, block, walk, block, throw. Covering that amount of ground, worming his way in to get that throw speaks to the high-level power that this kid has way beyond his years. Shades of Daigo coming out from Blaz in round 1, and he carries that momentum to close out that first round. And not only that, he carries out the next 2 games to go up to set point against Cien 2-0. And so here we have Blaz 1 round away from potentially eliminating the EVO 2013 champion, 2-time Capcom Cup 2nd place finisher, Cien. Cien starts the round with a drive rush, doesn't get checked, but Blaz finds the heavy punch into the donkey kick, gets the knockdown, perfectly spaced empty jump, walks underneath the bazooka knee into the Hashogeki confirmation, into the corner, finds the throw. What's the pressure? Stand like kick, drive rush cancel, overhead into a single hit confirmed link, level 3. Blaz, he's looking away. He already knows it's done. Look at him emoting on Cien. Does a little uppercut animation. He knows he had the win with that really optimal conversion into level 3. And Blaz takes the set win 3-0 over Cien. Something is brewing here. And for the final losers qualifiers match into top 8, we have Takamura out of Belgium going up against Shuto, who was so close to making it into the top 16 winners side. Instead, he finds himself here a round away from elimination. Takamura up 2-1 up against Shuto. Finds a low forward into run, but didn't believe if he had converted that into the DP to level 3, he would have won this set. Instead, Shuto finds the anti-air fireball into the drive rush conversion and goes for the meaty DI. Takamura, not ready with the super reaction, eats that into the stun, and Shuto stays alive to eventually tie up this set 2-2. We then get into final game, final round between these 2 players. Level 3 in the side of Shuto. He's buffering something. What's he looking for? Low forward drive rush in. DP response from Takamura. Get off me. And there it is, the level 2. Shuto, you can see him popping off already when that level 2 on reaction to the fireball came out. Into the corner, gets the combo pickup. Shuto whiffs the DP. Is that a bait? I don't even know. I gotta lab that myself. Finds the shimmy though, but puts himself in a burnout during this process. Takamura, what do you have here? He has wake up uppercut, and Shuto punishes with the fist pump and the pop off. He's feeling the energy. He knows he just made the comeback. He's ready to stay alive in this tournament and make his run for that $1 million prize. And with that, we come down to our final 8 competitors. By the end of this tournament, one of them will win $1 million, and the rest will win significantly less money. The prize split for Capcom Cup is kind of barbaric. In Grand Finals will be a $900,000 money match, with 2nd place walking away with $100,000. So rest assured, these players are extremely motivated to win it all right now. With that said, we have in the winner's side, Noah the Prodigy going up against Kakeru, and Leshar going up against Juicy Joe. Loser side, we have AngryBird up against Tokido, and Blaz versus Shuto. And up first, we have Noah the Prodigy up against Kakeru. And while Kakeru was favored by many to be in this position, including myself, he's the player I called to win the whole thing. Noah the Prodigy is the surprise one here in winner's side of top 8, being the only American in top 16 at all at this Capcom Cup, and the only American ever to make top 8 for Street Fighter 6 at Capcom Cup. So he's been on fire all weekend, but so is Kakeru. How does he fare in this matchup? Well, after losing 2 games straight with his Luke, Noah the Prodigy hits character select and switches to Cammy. Now, yeah, Noah does have a Cammy, but is it top 8 Capcom Cup ready versus Kakeru? I'm not so sure. It's kind of a rare pick for him to use in this situation, even though I do think on paper Cammy does better than Luke potentially against JP. How does it fare for him? Here, Kakeru is on set point. He needs a few more interactions to win. Gets the anti-air to OD portal. DI response from Noah through the portal puts Kakeru into burnout, playing the neutral game. Kakeru trying to maintain control. Taps the medium punch, finds the hit. Noah the Prodigy a jab away from being put down into the loser's bracket. Tries the mid-screen DI, it hits nothing. Tries again near to the wall, gets the wall splat. Noah the Prodigy, you have CA, what do? And he drops the combo. I'm not sure if that was a brain fart, like he decided the CA wasn't going to kill and try to reset, or if he just completely dropped it. I don't know what happened, but Kakeru finds the drive reversal, pops to level 2, and it's a guess for game situation. And Noah the Prodigy eats the final hit of the level 2, and Kakeru moves on to winners finals of Capcom Cup 11. And the next match to battle it out to see who will make it into winners finals is Leshar versus Juicy Joe. And Juicy Joe is the other player along with Noah as the surprise top 8 winners qualifier. And Leshar is another favorite like Kakeru to potentially win the entire event. He's had such a strong year ever since he made his breakout performance at Capcom Cup last year, winning the group of death and finishing with a strong 5th place finish. So how does this matchup go for Juicy Joe? Well, if this round's any indicator, you can see here he finds the whiff punish, finds a strong combo conversion, burns himself out in the process to get the optimal conversion into the spike into the level 1. But Leshar has a pixel, and you're in burnout against Ed with no drive meter to your name. Finds the first charge flicker. Oh, he tries to interact with that one, gets counter hit by it instead, gets the knockdown. That's meaty, you can't do nothing about that. Tries to jump away, eats a heavy punch into the OD flicker instead. Damage is racking up. Another guaranteed chip sequence here from Leshar. Pops to level 2 after the OD fireball, and that chip is guaranteed after that knockdown. He secured that last combo hit. The meaty flicker is meaty. Level 1s are not projectile invincible. That is a projectile, so once he scored that, it was all but guaranteed. Amazing comeback and checkmate sequence from Leshar there in that round. And as we move on, we see Leshar finds himself up 2-0 with a round on the board. He needs one more round to get into winners finals up against Kakeru. Finds the drive rush jab here against Joe, gets the knockdown into the throw. Joe, you're in the corner. What are you going to do? Gets Ed's shenanigans here. Counter hit conversion. Baits out the amnesia on the shimmy. Gets the big combo conversion. Possibly one more interaction to take it. Jab stagger pressure, dashes away from the cross-up jump, but Joe finds the corner, but the counter hit poke lands for Leshar into the level 2. That's going to be all she wrote, and a perfect from Leshar to take it 3-0 to join Kakeru in the winners finals. And up next, we have 2 legends throwing down in the loser side top 8 for our first elimination match. We have AngryBird up against Tokido, and AngryBird, the EVO 2023 champion, and one of the strongest players we've seen in the Street Fighter scene since like mid-2018 Street Fighter V. And Tokido, EVO champion in 2017, Capcom Cup runner-up, multiple championships under his belt over his illustrious career. At 39 years of age, still kicking ass, and here we have the match going down in the Ken Mirror. But as it proceeds, AngryBird brings it to a 2-1 lead with 1 round away for him for eliminating the legendary Tokido. He has Tokido in the corner here. Defends from the Jinrai shenanigans, finds the knockdown, gets one throw, one more interaction away for potentially killing Tokido and taking the next spot in this tournament bracket. The stare down the tension. Tokido presses the low forward to fireball, but didn't believe in the driver's cancel and instead gives the opportunity for the whiff punish heavy kick conversion to OD Jinrai to level 2 for AngryBird to eliminate Tokido and keep moving on in this bracket. Up next, we have maybe arguably the most exciting matchup of the entire top 8. We have Blaz going up against Shuto. Blaz proved his position in this top 8 was no fluke after he lost 3-0 to Kakeru. That 3-0 set against Cien set the tone for what his opponents can expect from him going forward. Shuto, on the other hand, after barely missing out on making it into top 16 on winner's side, has been on an absolute war path in this bracket. 3-1 win over Shanghai, the Esports World Cup champion from this season, and arguably one of the favorites to take the whole thing, popping off the whole way, feeling the energy of the crowd, surviving that electrifying match against Takamura. He is here to possibly take this whole thing. And as the match proceeds, Blaz ends up taking a 2-1 lead over Shuto, but Shuto is fighting back here with 1 round away from tying up this set. You can see here he needs one more interaction. Walks underneath the demon flip, does Blaz, but on the meaty, he meant to do heavy punch into Denjin charge Hadoken to get some plus frames and advantage, but accidentally has the classic Shoto input error of doing a DP, and Shuto capitalizes it to bring it to a final game situation 2-2 between these players. And here, Blaz is on set point, but down in life in this round. Shuto's fighting to make this comeback in this set. Finds the dive kick into the counter hit confirmation and pops the level 2 in the combo, but it's not enough. He backdashes on the throw, does Blaz get a side swap. This could be dangerous. Finds the meaty overhead into pressure, backs off, looking for the hit. 1 touch into level 3, can kill, burns himself out in the process. On wake up, drive reversal from Shuto and level 1. It's meaty and it chips. I mean, maybe he could have wiggled his way out of it after the back throw, but excellent calculation from Shuto to bring this to final game, final round. Into the final round, Blaz has the position advantage and gets the medium air-to-air on the demon flip, but Shuto doesn't care. That wake-up DP, if blocked, might have spelt the end of his tournament run. Blaz throws the drive reversal, wake-up super out of desperation from the drive meter advantage, and this combo is going to seal it. Blaz takes a set 3-2 over the CPT Singapore champion Shuto and moves on in top 8. And in the next match, we have a chance at revenge. AngryBird is going up against the man who put him into loser's bracket, the juiciest of Joes, and this time AngryBird is going with a different strategy. We saw it earlier. Instead of the Ken, he's busting out the Akuma again, which I think makes sense. I think Ken does fine against JP, but Akuma has a lot more air options to mix up the approach and a lot more access to things like projectile meaties and charge fireball meaties to get plus frames, and plus on block meaty projectiles are really strong against JP, who has no reversal options to meaty projectiles aside from level 3. And how does it work out for him? Well, as you can see here, AngryBird goes up to a quick 2-0 lead and starts the round with OD demon flip dive kick, rushing in with the drive rush into the overhead, gets the combo confirmation. Joe already in the corner at 60% life. There's that meaty charge plus unblock fireball that beats wake up amnesia from JP. Throw loop time, meaty projectile instead this time, and the drive rush confirmation into the full combo into the level 1. A quick perfect from AngryBird to go up to set point against Juicy Joe. But Juicy Joe is not done fighting back just yet. Juicy Joe manages to survive the next round and get to a final round scenario in this game. He's defending at the corner, parries the drive rush overhead, deals with the demon flip. Amnesia time, he takes the side swap on the throw, gets the full knockdown. He's going to pop the portal to put the mix. Goes for the level 2. AngryBird, how do you defend here? Goes for the teleport, and the random stray level 2 hit picks up AngryBird after the drive reversal, and then the teleport through. AngryBird with the throw, then attempted a parry on the falling jump, but Juicy Joe just empty jumps out of the teleport, gets the punish counter throw, and he's on the board in this set. On to the next round. Juicy Joe, playing to survive, manages to find the crouching medium kick, dashes underneath the air fireball, gets the punish counter, full conversion into the corner, gonna pop the level 2, missed on the sweep punish, approaches behind the portal, gets the combo conversion into the OD slash, full combo follow-up into the safe jump, empty jump, stagger jab, gets the perfect, and suddenly Juicy Joe, after being behind the entire set, is a round away from tying it up against AngryBird. AngryBird striking back next round to bring himself to set point against Juicy Joe. Here you can see he finds a punish counter throw, jumping around, mixing up the air options, drive rush into back throw, mid-screen, level 3 on the side of AngryBird, so any hit will kill it. Look, he's not sticking to the ground, bunny hopping, air fireball, air regular jump. Juicy Joe is getting mixed. He doesn't know when the approach is coming. You can see the air approach just causing chaos for Juicy Joe. Conversion to level 3, but wait a minute. A pixel. What can Joe do here? It's a jump again, and then the guess on the strike throw. Juicy Joe guesses incorrectly, and AngryBird gets his revenge with the Akuma pick to take the set 3-1, and Juicy Joe is eliminated at 5th place. But nothing to be ashamed of. He outperformed all expectations, put his name on the map, and showed that he came to play in front of a global audience. Props to Juicy Joe. And up next, we have a match for the title of Prodigy. Noah the Prodigy versus Blaz, two of the most surprising players in this position. And a little bit ironic with the name, considering how Noah the Prodigy, now 22 years old, still very young, and on his rookie-sponsored professional season. He was once an 8-year-old boy competing at EVO and MBC3 and taking big names. He has actually been a veteran in a weird way for many years now. He's been competing for nearly as long as Blaz has been alive. Blaz, 15 years old, truly a prodigy in this position, proving it with these dominant results in this top 16 bracket. So who is the true prodigy from here on out? Well, as you can see here, we have Blaz up 2-0 in games, a round apiece, one round away from Blaz from eliminating Noah the Prodigy from Capcom Cup. Drive rushes in, gets the punish counter throw on the parry attempt. Heavy punch to Denjin Hashogeki, that's plus frames, he gets the throw after. Crouching heavy punch to heavy punch, into the punish counter throw again. Where has your drive gauge gone? The strings into OD Hashogeki, the plus frames. Now a light Hashogeki is plus on block when you're in burnout. He's harassing with the threat of chip. Noah cracks and jumps into the ODD, and Blaz takes the set 3-0 with a perfect, with emphasis, harassing Noah in the corner to end his historic run, to continue Blaz's historic run instead as the remaining prodigy in this bracket. Blaz, making history before our eyes, proceeds into losers semifinals to go up next against AngryBird. And I just want to give big props to Noah for ending his Capcom Cup run in 5th place. That is legendary. He had an amazing year for himself. 9th place, the highest placing American at Esports World Cup. 5th place at Capcom Cup. That is an amazing placement, regardless of what people on the internet say, because they can't stand his kind of cringy antics, his personality, and the way he plays. Regardless of any talk you hear, he did the damn thing and had an amazing run, and he is one of the best players in the world. But today, Kakeru and Blaz are a cut above. Up next, we have Kakeru versus Leshar, winners finals. Two of the most dominant players in Street Fighter 6's history, and two of the favorites by many accounts to take the whole thing. The brackets and the groups have lined up, and now they meet in winners finals. If you asked 100 people on the street who wins this match, all of them would say, I have no idea what you're talking about. But in the Street Fighter scene, it would be a 50-50 split between these players. But how does it actually go down in this set? Well, you can see here that after the first game, Kakeru has taken that and is up a round, looking to make this a 2-0 lead. Leshar fighting back from a deficit, pushes Kakeru to the corner. Kakeru tries to slip out from over the corner, but eats a staggered jab conversion into the level 2, and it's dream time. Not just any dream. This is the Shin Dream combo, quite possibly the hardest combo in the game. Popularized by Leshar, so consistent with that. Pushes Kakeru to the corner. Wake up amnesia. Level 1 through the jab and the bomb explosion into the second level 1. And Kakeru, with the nefarious wake up amnesia to level 1, takes that round to bring it to 2 games for him, up in the lead. And to be clear, on both these interactions, the Shin Dream combo from Leshar requires a manual delay 2 or 3 frame cancel on the level 2 after the OD blitz. If you cancel on frame 1 and use the buffer, it does not work. Multiple micro walks and manual delays in the combo to get that full juggle to work. Extremely difficult high execution combo to get a slight optimization out of it. And after all that hard work, Kakeru busts out the wake up amnesia to level 1. This sequence is really sneaky because normally if you do a safe jump on JP and they wake up with amnesia, you are plus and are able to move first before the first bomb explodes. You're able to get in 2 light buttons before that bomb explodes where you can then block or parry it. And this is done to prevent the JP player from just escaping, from throwing you or jumping out of the corner. So you can pin them down with the lights first and then defend the bomb explosion. The counter to this from the JP's perspective is to immediately level 1. The worst part about this is if they land the level 1 because you decided to check them with the jab, they get the double level 1 combo like we saw here in this match and do massive damage. On the other hand, if you actually manage to block the level 1, the best punish you can do before the amnesia bomb on top of you explodes is do a regular grab. So it hedges the bets in the JP player's favor so that the level 1 is a very low risk but high rewarding move. It can be hard not to be discouraged after that last sequence, but here Kakeru is on set point, but Leshar's fighting back, has Kakeru into the corner, gets the combo conversion, needs to keep him pinned down here and harassed while he still can, but Kakeru building space with the jumps and the crouching medium kicks, pushes Leshar out of the corner. Goes for the drive rush. Leshar gets the check, but he forgets that that combo no longer exists. He went for a previously nerfed combo conversion that just months prior did work. That gives Kakeru this huge opening, finds a punish counter, heavy punch. He's going to set up the portal above Leshar here to go for the mix and teleport after the drive rush. Leshar with the throw, expecting a throw into the level 2. He's going to optimize this conversion, is Kakeru, and with the heavy swipe at the end, Kakeru takes the set 3-0 over Leshar and goes into grand finals on winner's side. And to clarify this combo drop on the drive rush check from Leshar, in the previous balance patch, crouching light kick on counter hit did combo into a second crouching light kick. This was nerfed because Capcom deemed that this conversion was too powerful, so it can no longer combo into itself. But this was the go-to sequence just months prior for ED players to use all season long to combat drive rush in neutral. So in the heat of the moment, Leshar fell back on old muscle memory, human error kicked in, possibly with the thought of $1 million on the line, and he ended up going to a no longer existing combo route, which cost him this final round in this set. Next up, we have loser semis, AngryBird versus Blaz. Now Blaz, he's proved up till this point that it's no fluke. He is one of the best players on the planet, period. But is he really ready for a player of AngryBird's caliber, the EVO 2023 champion? Well, AngryBird is showing him some respect here. He doesn't want to go Ken versus Blaz's Ryu. He picks the Akuma instead. And in the first game here, you can see they both have a round apiece. AngryBird lands a throw mid-screen, drive rushes up for the throw, whiffs his, but punishes the throw tech from Blaz. Expensive though, AngryBird nearing burnout. Blaz calls out the fake jump, empty jump pressure, gets the jab sequence, puts him into burnout, back to neutral. Dive kick over the fireball, AngryBird pushing Blaz to the corner. Another safe jump situation. AngryBird respecting the fact that he's in burnout, resets to neutral again. Blaz taking advantage of the space, finds a drive rush DP through the air fireball, poking away at him. Now, suddenly, CA on the side of Blaz. AngryBird can't afford to get the toes exposed. Any touch will kill. Air fireball to build space, drive rush jab for the pressure. Blaz gets in for the drive rush cancel into the tick throw. late neutral jump to bait the wake up tech from AngryBird, and Blaz takes the first game after AngryBird had such a life lead. On to the second game, we have another final round situation between these two players. Blaz finds the counter hit, medium punch, driver's cancel, burns it all to go for an overhead reset. It doesn't land, but he's ready with the jab into neutral jump to bait out the reversal DI attempt into the level 3. And is it enough? Survey says no. AngryBird staying alive. Blaz in burnout. AngryBird has CA. He has Demon available. He has to take the mix. Counter hit conversion into the Demon. But Blaz jumped. He read the level 3 Demon. It's a 50-50. Either AngryBird goes for a frame trap and punishes the jump away into a regular CA, or he lands a Demon. It was a coin flip situation, and Blaz survives to take it to a 2-0 lead over AngryBird. And with that momentum, Blaz takes it to set point, up 2 games in a round over AngryBird. AngryBird in the corner, but Blaz is in burnout. AngryBird trying to harass while he still can. Going for the Demon Flip shenanigans, jump back jab to reset from Blaz. Drive rush into the DP to anti-air the jump attempt. He finds the grab. AngryBird trying to get momentum right now while he still can. Spends it all in the drive rush overhead. It doesn't land. Drive reversal into the meaty level 1 for the chip. Denjin Hadoken. Dash up Demon. It's not in range. What a crazy idea from AngryBird, but now he's exhausted all resources. No drive meter, no super meter. He can get checkmated soon. Blaz is trying to force his way in. Finds the anti-air DP on the Demon Flip, and Blaz 3-0's the EVO 2023 champion to go into losers finals against Leshar. And that brings us to our top 3. We have Kakeru waiting in grand finals on winner's side, and then Leshar versus Blaz. One of these doesn't match the other. We just saw Blaz take out one of the other final bosses of Street Fighter 6 in AngryBird. So how does Leshar, who suffered a really tough loss in winners finals to Kakeru, mentally prepare himself to handle this demon of a child prodigy? Well, we can see here in game 1 a round apiece between these two players. Leshar eating the level 3 from Blaz in the corner with a pixel of drive meter. What's the option on wake up? He goes with wake up flicker, and immediate jump from Blaz gives him the full combo conversion, burns himself out, and Leshar goes wake up level 3. Not many options on his side. He wouldn't have died to a DI, so it was a bit of a desperate attempt, but desperate times call for desperate measures. But Blaz continues his win streak and takes the first game over Leshar. But Leshar still has fight left in him yet. Here we have a round apiece in this game, and Leshar has a sizable life lead, but he needs to defend against Blaz. Getting low in the drive meter situation, eats the media after the tick throw attempt, and he wakes up with level 3 again. Massive punish incoming from Blaz, and that's going to be the round. While in game 1, the wake up level 3 seemed to make sense. He had not many options left. This was definitely an unnecessary call from Leshar, and maybe signs that the pressure might be getting to him against the 15-year-old prodigy. And now Blaz is one round away from not just 3-0ing AngryBird, not just 3-0ing Leshar, but for earning his ticket into Capcom Cup 11 Grand Finals. Here he is in the corner, trying to fight his way out. Finds a conversion, empty jump. Leshar baits on it with the DP. Blaz resets the combo on purpose into the OD Hashogeki to get the plus frames into the burnout sequence. He gets the donkey kick spacing trap here as well. Drive rush in for pressure. Leshar responds with level 3. Level 3 in turn from Blaz. It whiffs. Leshar recovers first, gets a light punish, but Blaz secured the burnout he needed. Gets the sweep here. Hashogeki pressure with the tick throw, and now he's going to get the guaranteed sequence. Ringe, take it away.
And he's going to hit it, and Blaz, just like that, charge up the Hashogeki, show him the door, because, kid, you're in grand finals.
And thus, we have our grand finals and our $900,000 money match prepared. On one side, we have Kakeru, who since Street Fighter 6's inception has established himself as one of the greatest, if not possibly the best Street Fighter 6 player on the planet. He's been in positions like this before against the best competition on the planet. Kind of like when he won Gamers 8 over AngryBird just a few weeks after he had taken the EVO title for $400,000. Safe to say, Kakeru is a known dominant figure in the world of Street Fighter 6 and many people's favorites to win the tournament from the beginning. On the other hand, we have Blaz, 15 years old, first time in Japan, second ever international offline tournament, and to the majority of the world, the first time they have ever heard of him, period. But just because this might be the first time you have heard of him does not mean Blaz has not been putting in work for a long time. You see, members of the South American and Chile community have been highlighting Blaz's talent for many years, all the way back in Street Fighter V. For example, in 2023, before Street Fighter 6 released, Nemo was invited to Chile to compete in Gamer City Tournament. At this tournament, Nemo did not even win. He lost to Zangief Bolado and then was eliminated by Dookie. And at that same tournament, Blaz actually ended up placing second, with Zangief Bolado taking the whole things. Shout out to Zangief Bolado, also having an amazing Capcom Cup for himself as well. Then, come Season 2 of Street Fighter 6, the rumors started circulating about this kid in Chile dominating the online competition. I saw this tweet highlighting how he had a 100-game win streak in Ranked. Absurd. He then went on to dominate the World Warrior program for the South America East region. And then with Blink Respawn 2024, it was finally a chance for him to show his skills offline. At that tournament, Blaz ended up in a respectable 7th place position at his first ever offline premiere, and his teammate Cryme ended up in 4th. And Cryme, also from Chile, is even younger than Blaz. It's safe to say that Blaz comes from a very strong region with very strong competitors that have sharpened his skills over the years. In fact, he recently started receiving coaching from Kioma. Kioma from Brazil was the former highest placing player in Capcom Cup history from South America. He ended up finishing top 8 at Capcom Cup 2015, which was probably my favorite Capcom Cup of all time up until potentially this one, and I was an instant fan of his able. He had many amazing hype wins over some of the best players on the planet. And Blaz's dad, who also plays Street Fighter, was with him every step of the way. He helped him train for years to hone his talent and skills, and also was the one to help transport and take care of him at all these tournaments. Just a few weeks before Capcom Cup, he took his son all the way out of Chile to LA for the EVO Awards, where he was nominated for the Who Got Next award. I was fortunate enough to meet Blaz and his father there and actually got to take a photo with them. If you have it, please post it. Blaz's dad took his son all the way to Japan to compete in Capcom Cup. In fact, you might recognize him. He was the one who translated for Blaz on his day one interview. And every night and in between rounds, Blaz and his dad were reviewing match footage and preparing for the next opponent. Blaz had the support he needed to get to this level. This is all to say that South America is not and has not been free at fighting games. They have created the community and the village required to mentor a talent like Blaz. And Chile specifically has established a legacy of creating fighting game champions. We of course have Kane Blue River winning EVO for UMVC 3 in 2015, Scorpion Prox winning EVO for MK11 in 2022, and then his twin Nicholas getting second place at EVO 2024 for MK11, losing to Sonic Fox. And now Blaz, at 15 years old at Capcom Cup 11, is next in line. But the real question is it Blaz's time today at Capcom Cup 11 Grand Finals? It's not going to be easy because you see his opponent has the power of love. You see, in one way, Kakeru went through a bit of a character crisis come Season 2. After being the guy who put JP on the map in Season 1, JP was heavily nerfed going into Season 2. At the time, Kakeru quickly adapted and added Akuma and M. Bison to his arsenal and ran those two characters all the way to a second place finish at Topanga League. He was also able to maintain really consistent performances in the most stacked World Warrior region on the planet, Japan. However, leading into the final World Warrior event where Kakeru had to come clutch and qualify over his fellow competitors into the Capcom Cup with a high placing finish, he went back to JP. Now, JP did get some additional buffs to make him more viable again in the meta, but he went back to the original love that he had for that character and told the world, I'm back. He ended up finishing that final World Warrior event in second place with his JP and finally earning his qualification into Capcom Cup as the point leader in Japan after coming so close so many times and failing in Season 1. Now, after so many other victories but not being able to make it to Capcom Cup, Kakeru had his main character back and was in prime position to win the million. And aside from returning to his first love in JP as his main for Street Fighter 6, Kakeru was literally in love and was just recently married. Shortly before Capcom Cup began, Mai had released as the latest DLC character for Street Fighter 6, and Kakeru was playing Mai heavily. He got to #1 rank in the world playing this character and was playing her consistently for weeks. He said in an interview he got into a heated debate about what character he should use, where he was debating using Mai, and his wife told him to go back to JP. In the end, he decided happy wife, happy life, and that she was correct and he would stick with JP for this tournament. And he took that JP all the way to Grand Finals winner's side. And now it's time to see if Blaz, after taking out AngryBird 3-0, Leshar 3-0, can he take out the final boss of Street Fighter 6, Kakeru, in Capcom Cup 11 Grand Finals in a $900,000 money match to win the $1 million prize. On to the first game, we see that Blaz actually ends up with the first round in this set. He needs to reset the bracket to stay alive in this tournament. Kakeru wants to win right now. He has the portal, gets in, finds a swipe, has level 3 to back it up in case Blaz goes for the DI. Perfect pair in the drive rush. Gets the Hashogeki, but drops the drive rush extension. Missed an opportunity there. Allows Kakeru to back off. Level 3 on the side of both players. And Kakeru finds the Abare jab challenge into the swipe to confirm him to level 3 to take this round, avoiding his first loss of the entire top 16. Kakeru has not dropped a game so far. And you see here, Blaz has Kakeru near the corner, but low drive meter situation and the portal behind him. He blocks it, blocks the heavy kick, decides to go into burnout on his own terms. We get the drive reversal for the knockdown. Needs to keep Kakeru in the corner, but can't overextend. Empty jump. Nice call on the empty jump, going with the stand heavy punch. Fuzzy as Blaz lands. Kakeru sets up the zoning pattern right now. Blaz finds the perfect pocket to jump in. Parry on the donkey kick. Empty jump again into the OD amnesia. Jump back medium to make the second bomb whiff into the sweep whip punish. That was tech. But after the -3 Hashogeki, Kakeru goes for the back throw. With parry attempt from Blaz, gets punish counter throw. Level 2, you have to guess now. Do you block or parry? He goes for parry, and it immediately gets thrown by Kakeru. And Kakeru avoids his first loss of the whole top 16 and takes game 1 of Grand Finals, 2 games away from $1 million. And now in this second game, Kakeru is 1 round away from potentially taking this to a 2-0 lead. Blaz in burnout, but pressuring Kakeru in the corner. The throw is teched. Immediate level 2 again. This forces Blaz to back up. He eats the spike on the jump away, but he gets to maintain the side of the screen. He needs to stay on the right side of the portal so that Kakeru can't teleport and cross up and escape. He's willing to take the chip damage to recover his drive gauge. Now he's able to approach, navigating the zoning patterns. Finds his way in, but Kakeru sees the opening to side swap. Blaz goes on the offensive, spending the drive gauge. And after the back heavy kick, he exposes the toes, and Blaz manages to stave off the 2-game lead from Kakeru. And now final round in this game. Blaz in a bad position though. Confirmation from Kakeru puts Blaz in the corner. OD portal blocks the overhead. He needs to pay attention, does Blaz, to a potential DI, and there it comes. He gets the raw back throw on the raw DI. Donkey setup, stagger pressure. It's all coming together. And on the take throw scenario, Kakeru maybe tries to backdash or hold up to escape the throw, but it's the button instead. Blaz gets to confirm to level 3. Now it won't kill, but look at the drive gauge situation and the life. Blaz is calculating. Heavy punch drive rush cancel, string into OD Hasho, string into Hasho, and he puts him into burnout and gets the chip, and Blaz delivers the very first game loss to Kakeru, period, in this top 16. In this third game, Kakeru does go up in the first round, and Blaz once again in burnout in the corner. He needs to defend. Blocks the drive rush overhead with the spike. That would have spelt certain doom for him in that situation. Fights his way out of the corner. Back to mid-screen gameplay between these two players. Blaz will be able to wait out this situation and recover his drive gauge. Finds the first low forward drive rush cancel once he gets the meter back. Empty jump. Gets the string into the OD Hasho. Reset with the grab. Drive rush in. He goes for the throw on the late active frames on the OD Amnesia. Back to the corner again. And low drive meter situation again. Forces the burnout, but Blaz takes it with the drive reversal to escape the corner. Dangerous situation. Perfectly spaced empty jump, but he doesn't take the DP to level 3. Instead, he goes for the shimmy. That empty jump was perfectly spaced to bait out the Crouch Fierce anti-air. Saves the meter and goes into a final round situation in this game. This next critical round determines who goes up 2-1 in the set, and Blaz is behind again in burnout again. Kakeru sets up the OD portal just to allow the level 2 activation to get the mix. Teleports in, gets the hit, but doesn't get the combo conversion. But he snipes the toes as Blaz tries to walk away with the spike pickup, and Kakeru goes up 2-1 in this grand finals first set. And this time, Blaz gets the early momentum. Yes, Kakeru in the corner gets the punish counter throw. Time to harass with Hashogeki pressure. This is all plus frames. He guesses on the amnesia. It does not work out. Blaz getting the momentum. Takes the stun. Kakeru not ready with the level 1. He's going to go for the stun combo, get a lot of damage, except the critical drop from Blaz. Blaz ends up overextending on his pressure, putting himself in burnout. Kakeru's fighting back mid-screen, has the portal up, gets the low forward counter hit with the portal into the heavy swipe, pops the OD spike into level 2, and this is going to do a ton of damage, and it's enough. Kakeru is at Capcom Cup points. This next round could potentially cost Blaz $900,000. He baits out the perfect parry fireball check, and he goes on the offense, standing like it into Donkey. Empty jump to bait out the delay tech. Huge damage, saves the level 3 though. And this time he just goes for the late safe jump, and Kakeru eats it. We have a real set, a round apiece, 2-1. And now Blaz in burnout, but on the offensive, chasing down Kakeru in the corner, finds the whiff punish confirmation into the level 3. This puts Kakeru in burnout with low drive meter situation. He does have access to CA to go through a fireball. He does have access to options from the super, and he uses it. The wake up level 2 forces the retreat out of Blaz. He's going to back off and recover out of burnout, but Kakeru is in chip range. He finds the down forward heavy. Blaz can't exert his pressure. Back throw. Fireball spike, and that's it. The spike hurt around the world. Kakeru gets the hit, gets the win, wins the $900,000 money match, and becomes the next Street Fighter 6 millionaire and the Capcom Cup 11 champion. And Kakeru, head down, collecting himself after finally achieving the goal he's been working so hard for so long, looks up to see Blaz approaching to console him and let him know it's a good game. The two players embrace, and Capcom Cup 11 has concluded. And with tears in his eyes, Kakeru thanks the support from his fans and his wife, of course, for supporting him on this journey. But he also drops this in the interview, translated by Ryan Hart here.
He actually said that he's gone through his, kind of looking through, reflecting over the first 3 days through the group stages, wasn't fully comfortable with his gameplay, but he managed to get through the groups after that, and, he's really happy that he managed to get through. And then, ahead of the top 16, last night he actually went home, thinking about the matches ahead, had an argument with his wife, and which continued until this morning. And that actually gave him some sort of motivation for the tournament, because there's an inside issue that even though they've just freshly married, he hasn't quite taken care of the ring yet. So he's really excited that he won this money now.
I'm sure with that $1 million, he can now afford to get his wife the biggest ring possible. And in the end here, I would just like to once again highlight Blaz's legendary Capcom Cup 11 run. In groups, 2-1 versus VXBow, 2-1 versus Emperor, 2-1 over Broski, 2-1 over Bravery, 2-0 over IDOM, then on to top 16, losing 0-3 to Kakeru, beating Zien 3-0, beating Shuto 3-2, 3-0 versus Noah, 3-0 versus AngryBird, 3-0 versus Leshar, before finally falling 1-3 to the only player able to beat him all week long, Kakeru. I think it's safe to say that Blaz has a very bright future in Street Fighter ahead of him. And in fact, Nuki, one of the original Japanese gods of fighting games, sees something special in Blaz as well. He says here, 15-year-old Ryu's Blaz-kun, the way he applies pressure and the way he uses his Shoryuken are just like the young Umehara. I'm excited to see how far it will go. We might be witnessing in front of us right now the next generation, the next beast in Blaz. And that's the end of the Capcom Cup 11 recap. If you're still watching till this point, thank you so much. I know this is going on way too long. I blab way too much, but there was too many stories to tell. I would just like to say thank you to everyone who supported me in making these recaps and supported me during the restreaming and all the ungodly hours that were put in to digest all of this content and to regurgitate it back out to you guys. Thank you so much. I want to give a big shout out to all the production, TOs, organizers, and players from all over the world for putting on a great show at Capcom Cup 11. I personally think this might be the best Capcom Cup of all time. I also think that's in no small part to the fact that it was hosted in Japan. The audience, the energy, and the stadium, and the reverence was really there. You can tell how much the audience cared, and the scale of it all, it made Capcom Cup feel really special. Once again, shout outs to all the players who gave it their all year, and for years leading up to this event to be prepared. I think the competitors came in really well practiced, and the competition was amazing this year. Thanks again to anyone still here and watching. I appreciate you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.